Minimalism is dead and has been replaced by maximalism. Are you someone that is always striving for more, looking for the best option out there? Or are you someone that is willing to be satisfied with a just good enough answer? Today we're going to be discussing differences between minimalism and maximalism and how it's going to affect your life choices. And at the end of this video, you're going to be a better thinker, be able to make better decisions, and ultimately lead a more satisfying life. So the difference between these two philosophies is that a maximalist is someone that likes to research and dig into a topic or an idea and sometimes struggles to actually make the decision because they want to actually maximize the end result. They want to have the best option out there. And so this leads them down into many rabbit holes. This leads them down into agonizing over whether or not they actually made a right choice. And after making a choice, sometimes they have regrets and decision fatigue because they spent so much time agonizing over all the small details, versus someone that is, you can say, a minimalist, or someone that is a satisficer, someone that is satisfied with just looking for an option that is just good enough, that isn't the best option but isn't the worst. And maybe, for example, they look into some of the Amazon reviews and they say this is a 4.5 star review, and so more or less this is a decent option. I don't need to go and look at the other 15 options out there and agonize over all the reviews, all the different technical specs, and then make a decision or fail to make a decision because of all the wide array of options out there. So this is the difference between a maximalist and someone that's a satisficer. So are you a maximizer? Are you a satisficer? I'd like to hear from you, so leave a comment in the section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So my own personal journey as someone that was always, I would say, was a maximalist, someone that wanted to just optimize life, right? And I talk about these concepts of life optimization and trying to design your life and your lifestyle in order to live the best life possible. And in a way, it is a loaded topic because it is very difficult to actually able to optimize one's life to the perfect results. And so that sort of leads us to either be a maximizer or a satisficer, where someone that is a satisficer might say, hey, I am content with my life, I enjoy what I have, and I am grateful for what I have, versus a maximizer is always searching for more. They're searching for the best options out there. They're searching for the best job out there, the best career, the best spouse, the best significant other, the friends that are quote unquote the best. And so it leads us into this cycle of always wanting more, always chasing the next goalpost when we can't actually enjoy the current and the now. And I'm the same way. And I'm not perfect either. And I've led a life of a maximalist for many, many years. I've traveled the world. I've wanted to experience all there is out there because I told myself, why not? If I have the means and the will to do so, why can't I go out and do all the things on my bucket list while I'm still young? And so my mindset throughout all these years was to maximize my 20s, maximize my 30s, and then as I'm going through these life stages, I said, wait a minute, this is driving me crazy, because like in my example, most maximalists tend to struggle with actually making a decision. And when they do make a decision, we tend to have some regret. And we might regret making a certain decision because maybe later down the road, we're like, hey, I could have actually taken this route. I could have actually chosen this specific product because it was actually better in the long run. But we failed to realize that in the moment, we tried to make, and we probably made the best decision with the best information we had at that specific moment. And so we're always struggling. And why I really embraced the concept of minimalism, because I wanted to do the opposite of that. to be the opposite of a maximalist, where you're always wanting more. You're always chasing the next thing, and you're never satisfied with what you currently have. And I knew that I couldn't live a life like that. And especially being someone from New York City, a big, hyper-capitalistic, individualistic city where people are always on the go with their coffees in hand, with their newspaper, and always on the go, and it's always hustle, hustle, hustle. You sort of realize that, hey, maybe I'm just living a lie. Maybe I'm living a lie that someone pushed onto me. And I say minimalism is dead because look all around us, where you're constantly bombarded by advertisements, you're bombarded on the news articles, which are hiding more ads, and you're watching videos, and you're watching on social media. All of it is so advertisement centric, where they tune the algorithm so that it can target you better. And so we have a choice to make. We have to choose whether or not we believe in these values, that we want to live in a society like that, and what we can do specifically. I choose to shut down my phone sometimes. I try to delete most, if not all, of my social media applications, and I fine tune and curate what I actually consume and put into my mind. And in this day and age, it's not so much of having more, because there is so much all around us. And most of us that are watching this video are in abundance. We are constantly bombarded by all these things that are basically free and provided to us, but there's a caveat. It's a double-edged sword, because along with all these free things comes the advertising, comes the hidden messages that these advertisers want you to hear so that you will buy their product, that you will use their services, and so that you can continue chasing more, because it's actually really beneficial for the economy, for that people are constantly buying more, spending their dollars that they've just earned, and so that it goes back into the economy and cycle. And the worst thing for economy is that when people are just saving and not spending. So there is an actual economic advantage of people always on this quote unquote rat race, so that they are getting more money, spending that money, and continue to earn more money so that they can keep inflating their lifestyle. So it's something to think about. So when is enough enough? That is the question that we want to ask ourselves, that I've been asking myself, whether that is my own career, that is with relationships in my life, and just personal goals of saying, hey, I am satisfied and that I am not looking for more, because there is always more. Whether or not that you are of a certain net worth, there is always someone that is going to have more. Whether or not you have a cushy job, there is always going to be a better job. Whether or not you're with the person, there is probably someone even better out there. And so it's the same thing whether or not of those more serious topics, or it's something like shopping, or it's something like, hey, I'm okay with my iPhone 12, which I still have, which some people might say, hey, why don't you upgrade? Why don't you upgrade to a better phone that's out there? And I say, what's wrong with my current phone? It's more or less of saying, hey, I'm grateful for what I already have, versus always not being in the present moment and saying, hey, I want this. When you say I want this, whatever this is, you sort of short-circuit your own happiness and say, I will not be happy until I achieve X. I will not be happy until I achieve that promotion. I will not be happy until I achieve 2 kids. I will not be happy until I get that nice red brick house down the road. I will not be happy until I have $5 million. And so we postpone our happiness, and we postpone our contentment and fulfillment for a future that may never come. And so in my own personal struggles with being a maximalist and a minimalist, I think the answer lies in between. And that is something that no one can answer for you, and something that you have to go on the journey and discover for yourself. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you have a better understanding of the differences between a maximizer and a satisficer, and perhaps a new way of thinking how exactly you're going to make better life decisions on whether or not you are going to strive for more and strike that with a balance of wanting less and generally being more content and fulfilled in your own lives. Thank you for watching, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more. And if you're interested, make sure to check out this video right here. And as always, thank you for watching. Peace.